I have not had a vacation from Etsy in over 7.5 years. I have traveled out of state on average at least once a month. I have moved across the country twice. And yes, I have never once put my shop on vacation mode. And keep in mind, I am a physical product shop where we're actually shipping everything out. A lot of people think they can't sell physical products because they want to have the freedom to travel and to take vacation and to take time off and to work from anywhere. Well, you can if you do it right. Remember that an object in motion tends to stay in motion. So you do not want to stop that motion with vacation mode. I have a solution, and a lot of people look at my life and they wonder, how on earth have you never taken a step back from your shop from receiving orders? These are the steps. Number 1, production time. Now, it is not as simple as saying, oh, just extend your processing times. So we are going to, number 1, deactivate any rush order fees in your shop, anything that would allow someone to upgrade to rush production or rush shipping. Next, we are going to extend our processing times to a wide buffer. This doesn't mean extend your processing times to 6 weeks. I'm talking about more like 2 to 6 weeks. Now, we want at least a 2-week buffer from when you would like to start working on orders again. So let's say you're having a baby and you want to start doing some work at around week 4. For me, I tend to have my babies around 38 weeks. So at around 36 weeks, I would take my processing times from 3 to 10 business days to now 1 to 3 weeks. During this time, I'm also going to raise my prices by 10% minimum. And during this time when I know I could have my child, I work really, really hard to stay only 1 day ahead. So that tends to slow orders down just enough so that I can keep up, so I'm shipping next day. So for me, I could produce 20 orders in a day, and I kept my open order count at 20 orders or less. Now, it's not as simple as just extending your time frames and raising your pricing by 10%. It's a lot more than that. If you just leave it like that, you might lose a lot more momentum. Within a few days of your vacation, you're going to extend your production time frame to at least within a 2-week buffer after you plan to go back to work. So let's say you're taking a month off. You're going to Bali for a month. You know you're going to be back 4 weeks, okay? What you're going to do is actually extend your shipping time frame to 6 weeks. Now, you don't have to give yourself that 2-week buffer. You could probably do a 1-week buffer and be just fine. So if you're taking a month-long vacation, okay, you maybe want to put your ship time frames from, the 1 to 3 weeks now out to 1 to 5 weeks. This is right when you're leaving. Now, you might ask, why would you put 1 to 5 weeks? Why not just put 5 weeks? Or why not put 4 to 5 weeks? It's simply because of perception, okay? It looks much, much better to the customer if you have a much wider ship window versus just being at 4 weeks or 6 weeks, because you're likely going to ship sooner than the longest time frame anyways. That first week you're gone or out, that is going to be the 1 week that kills your momentum the most because it has the longest shipping time frame. So basically, as every week goes by, as you get closer and closer to working again, shorten up the length of your production time frame. That way, the week before you are back, you can go back to your original shipping time frame of that 3 to 10 business days. The biggest dip in your sales happens right away, and then every week, as you're shortening your production time frame, you are going to get more and more sales. And by the time you're ready to go back to work, your momentum is going to be right back where it was, as if you didn't take any time off. This works so well. I've done this for 7.5 years. You can't just do this by itself. There's some other things you have to do. Number 2 is your announcements. You have got to keep that announcement updated even when you're on vacation mode, because if someone sees a long ship window, like 2-3 month ship window, and an announcement that is like 6 months old, they might question, is this business active? Are they like on a hiatus? Feel free to update it every week, right? With your updated shipping timeframe. And also state that rush orders are unavailable until after this specific date. That will prevent a lot of the messages and inquiries that you'll be getting. All right, number 3 is to update your auto response in your messages. Now, this is not the time to overshare and get too personal. They don't want to know that your dog died. They don't want to know that your grandma's in the hospital. You can simply state something like this: we are currently out of the office, but we will be responding to your messages over the next 72 hours. Thank you for your patience. All right, number 4, do not forget to put a pause on your USPS pickups if you are a physical product business. And this is a big key, don't forget to hold your mail during that time. This is if you are not actually going to be home, because what can sometimes happen is return to senders or people who are trying to abuse your return policy, right? And what you don't need is a headache of something getting lost or stolen on your front door. All right, number 5 is that during this time, you want to preset your Instagram posts. You can take a step back from Etsy, but you don't want to crush your brand. So I recommend at least once a day day. At the longest lapse, I would say would be every 3 days. But remember, an active social media account indicates an active business to your customers. So if you are usually active on social media and then all of a sudden you completely step away from social media, the perception and the questions might be around, did they shut down? Like, what's happening? You might think, I don't want to be on social media when I have a baby. Like, I just want to, enjoy my baby, or I want to enjoy my vacation. I don't want to be on social media. I'm not taking my phone, right? In that case, you can set up your posting with sites like Later. We use Cloud Campaign, right? So there's different sites you can use. Now, they are not foolproof. You do need to check to make sure they're working. As an alternative, if you don't want to pay for that and learn that tool, you can just set up a bunch of drafts in your Instagram. Just make sure to never, reset your password, because sometimes you can lose your drafts. Personally, when I was just working a few days ahead, I just did the drafts. Now, number 6, when you get back from that vacation or you are ready to start working after a maternity leave, batch your orders. This is for physical products that you're shipping yourself. You do not want to complete your orders one at a time from oldest to newest. That is oftentimes the impulse and the inclination that we have is, okay, what's the oldest order? I'm just going to start knocking them off one by one. No. We want to look at, okay, the oldest week of orders. Really, I would sort by ship by date, not the oldest, because honestly, the day before you're back to work, you're promising a 3 to 10 ship window, which really matches up with the expected shipping of something you had 4 weeks ago. So basically, you're going to want to sort by ship date, look at the next 7 days of things that have to ship, and group together like items. So do all of one product type one day. Okay, the next day, do all of another product type. And this is a big lesson learned from having my 2 babies. If you anticipate having a huge vacation coming up, maybe even like a backpacking trip in the summer or something like that, where you are going to be gone for a long time, then I would recommend that you consider adding in digital or print on demand to your shop. Now, over 60% of my students do digital or print on demand, and some of them do with print on demand over $100,000 per month. Some of our digital students are doing over $25,000 per month. Another alternative is integrating a supply category product. Now, you can easily outsource that to someone who does your fulfillment for you. There's very little training involved when it's simply pulling and packaging. And for me, now that I have a full-time Etsy shop manager, I don't actually do any fulfillment myself. I do, however, print the shipping labels just to keep an eye on things. Ultimately, in the long term, you can absolutely build a team around your shop, fully outsource it, really only have to work, 5-10 minutes a day on it, just kind of oversight at that point. I've done that for about 1.5 years now. And it's a really nice way to go, especially if you want to build another business like I have, or if you want to simply dedicate that time to something that's more important to you. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you can see how, myself and my team, we are really dedicated to building a business that is long-term, that fits into your life and the lifestyle you want, allows you to take the time off that you want. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment below. If you have any questions about your shop in general, feel free to reach out. Our email is team@dylanjaris.com, and you can also find me on Instagram @dylanjaris. I post Etsy tips over there every single day. You can also join our community tab here, which is kind of nice. It's where we post results of our actual students, and they share what strategies are working for them, which would be really interesting and helpful for you to see. So hop over to the community tab on YouTube if you'd like to see that. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.
I've gone from about $1,500 to $2,000 in revenue a month to currently, before the month's finished, $4,200 in revenue. I only joined multi-6-figure Etsy Blueprint about 4 weeks ago now,